All right, Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs get more big news on the recruiting trail. This time it's from one of their top linebackers on their board. Four-star linebacker Nick Abrams out of Maryland recently released his top four that includes Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Oregon. Now, this is a big deal because Georgia likes this kid a lot. I'm going to talk about him as a player, but I really thought Penn State, a kid or a team up there in his neck of the woods who's recruiting really well. I thought they were one of the teams to beat. The Maryland Terrapins, believe it or not, they're doing a great job on the recruiting trail. He's obviously from Maryland. So him not putting Penn State and Maryland in his Final Four, but adding Georgia or including Georgia, I thought was a really big deal. 6'2", 220 pounds, just a tackling machine. I went and watched some of his highlights earlier this morning. This kid attacks. He's quick. He's instinctive. The closing speed really stands out. He's a physical tackler. He leaves a bruise when he hits. There's a lot to like about his game. He's a really good athlete, can jump and deflect the ball. He makes plays in coverage, but his ability to dissect the play, react quickly, and then just close on the ball carrier is really, really impressive. Now, his ranking isn't going to excite a lot of Georgia fans. He's the number 14 linebacker in America, number 202 overall. So right around that 200 player mark in the country. Not bad. He is a solid four-star, but you have to remember at linebacker, if Glenn Schumann likes a guy, that's all you need to know. He's the best linebacker coach in college football. He knows what he's looking for. And they signed the number one linebacker in the country last year in Zayden Walker. I think they sit in a good position for Tyler Atkinson, the number one linebacker in the country in this 2026 class. I'm going to talk about him in a second. But Nick Abrams is a guy that I think Georgia fans may not know a ton about. Again, he's from Maryland. He's made a couple visits to Athens. He's not some five-star guy, but he is a really talented player. And he's down to his Final Four. Again, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Oregon. He will take his official visit to Georgia in about 3 weeks. May 16th, that weekend, he will be in Athens for that big official visit. He'll be at Michigan for his official there, June 6th. He'll go to Alabama the week after that, June 13th, and then Oregon, June 30th. So still a long way to go. I think he's going to take those visits and then make a decision, I believe, in mid-July. So he's a guy that Georgia fans do need to keep an eye on. Made 77 tackles last year, 9 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 1 interception, 1 block punt. Really active. And when you turn on the film, it's easy to see why. I mean, he plays at a different level, makes plays in different ways. And again, he's a fundamentally sound tackler. He can, tackle up high and throw the ball carrier backwards. He does a great job of making a tackle around the feet, around the ankles in the open field. There's just a lot to like about him. And he is very high on Georgia. He made some eye-opening statements about the Dogs. Here's what he said. He said, "Georgia's been recruiting me hard since they offered me back in January. They have everything you could want. A really good education, great facilities, training staff, the technology, and a great head coach. Coach Smart is a great coach, and he will give it to you straight. That's the type of coach I can see myself playing for. Coach Schumann is a great coach and a great leader. He's developed and put guys in the NFL consistently. The scheme Georgia has fits me perfectly. The system is a dream for linebackers, and it's almost impossible not to thrive in it." So when I hear that, I'm thinking, hey, this kid likes Georgia a lot. I mean, he's saying this is the ideal place, the perfect fit for a linebacker like me. Glenn Schumann, nobody else has the resume that he has. He's putting guys in the NFL. They're winning Butkus Awards on the way to the NFL. They're hearing their name called in the first round. So again, if you're a linebacker and Georgia wants you, he's saying it out loud. Hey, that's the place. That's linebacker university. I'm not trying to put words into his mouth, but that's the reality. He didn't say that, but he said, hey, Georgia fits me perfectly. So this is definitely a guy that Georgia fans need to know about. The linebackers in the state of Georgia, they're good, and they do have Tyler Atkinson, the best linebacker in the country. They took 2 in-state linebackers, Zayden Walker, Anthony Crua, in last year's cycle. If they take one in the state right now, it looks like it will be Tyler Atkinson, and a guy that is elite, right? Georgia's pushing hard for him, and they should. They've been recruiting him since middle school. He's the number 1 linebacker, the number 8 overall prospect in the country. Made 165 tackles last year for Grayson, leading them to the state championship. 32 tackles for a loss, 13 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 1 block kick. The guy was just about unblockable last year. Instincts, toughness, physicality, leadership. He's got the frame. He can move. I think a lot of people put him in that outside linebacker spot, but he is a true middle linebacker who can play in the middle of the field. He can run. He can get sideline to sideline, but he can obviously attack the quarterback as well. He's one of the best pass rushers in the country, and he does it from the middle linebacker spot, but he can play some outside as well. I remember seeing him 2 years ago when Grayson played Buford in the state championship. He sacked Dylan Raiola 5 or 6 times at least. I think the Grayson defense in total sacked him maybe 10 times. He was committed to Georgia at the time. It was not a great game. KJ Bolden was committed to Florida State. He was the best player on the field. Tyler Atkinson may have been second that day. He was all over the place, and he did that as a sophomore. Last year as a junior, unbelievable. He's going to be unblockable again as a senior. A lot of people think this is a slam dunk to Georgia. I'm here to say it's not. I feel like a lot of people have already penciled him into Georgia's class like years ago. And I still think Georgia's sitting in a really good spot for him. They've done everything they can to win him over. Ohio State is firmly in the mix. He likes Ohio State a lot. I totally get it. That's another place that pumps out linebackers. They win, they develop. I mean, it's Ohio State, right? So you have to give them a look if they are making you a priority, and they want him badly. Oregon is firmly in the mix. Clemson, Texas. I think if he had to come out with a top 5, I think those would be the 5 schools. Georgia, Ohio State, probably the top 2. And then the other 3, probably in no particular order, Texas, Oregon, and Clemson, schools that he really likes. They really like him, obviously. So I think that's probably the top group if I had to make a prediction. He doesn't have official visits set up that I am aware of, so that will be key. We'll see what weekend George is able to get him on campus for that big official visit. He's been at Athens countless times anyway. He understands the program. He has a great bond, a relationship with Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, basically the entire defensive staff, because they have wanted this kid for a long, long time. Again, number 1 linebacker in the country, plays about 45 minutes away from Athens. This is a guy they cannot leave the state, especially to a place like Ohio State, which, is, if Georgia's not the number 1 program in the country, it's Ohio State. They're the reigning champs. You don't want the best player in your state, 45 minutes, an hour away, go off to Columbus and play for the Buckeyes. That would not be ideal, especially because Georgia's linebacker you, and they've got the best linebacker coach in college football, and they're pumping out, again, Butkus Award winners, first-round picks. If you're Tyler Atkinson, that should be a perfect, ideal place, right? Nick Abrams, the kid from Maryland's already saying it. He's like, why would you not want to go to Georgia at linebacker? I mean, that's the place right now. So we'll see. If they can land both of those kids, they get an A+ again at the middle linebacker position. Glenn Schumann is one of the best recruiters in the country. I think that in the end, he will land Tyler Atkinson, but it's a long way to go, and I don't think it's necessarily the slam dunk that a lot of people think it is. You have to watch out for Ohio State, and what Oregon's doing on the trail right now is really, really impressive. Kids fall in love with Clemson. And Dabo Swinney when they get out there. And of course, Texas is doing what Texas does. They've got big money over there, and I don't think this is going to be necessarily all about money. There's a lot that's going to go into it, but certainly that's part of it, especially if you're a 5-star prospect, and that's the game right now, right? And you're seeing what everyone else is getting. Your worth. You know what the market's saying for a 5-star guy. So there's a lot that goes into it. Other linebackers to know, Xavier Griffin plays out of Griffin. He's committed to Alabama. He has not set up an official visit to Georgia. Actually, he's committed to USC. If he does flip anywhere, I think it will probably be to Alabama, but it doesn't look like Georgia is really in the mix at all right now for Xavier Griffin, a kid, again, 45 minutes away from Athens. Shadarius Tootle, a guy I'm a big fan of, 5-star name. I would love to cover this kid in Athens because his name is Shadarius Tootle. But he's committed to Auburn. He's from the state of Alabama, 6'3", 220. He's got an official visit to Georgia lined up that same weekend as Nick Abrams, May 16th. So 2 of the best linebackers in the country, 2 of the best linebackers on their recruiting board will be in Athens for a big official visit very, very soon. He's the number 7 linebacker in the country, number 141 overall, 157 tackles, 13 tackles for a loss out of College Hill Christian in Alabama. Again, he's committed to Auburn, would be a massive, massive flip. So we'll see where things go there. Again, if you're committed somewhere right now, it doesn't mean a whole lot especially if you're visiting other schools, you're not 100% committed. And I would say that for the Georgia commits, and I'd say that for someone committed anywhere else. If you're committed, that's the only place you should be visiting, right? So he's publicly committed to Auburn, but he's going to be in Athens for a big official visit. Nick Abrams, again, down to the Final Four: Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Oregon. And Georgia will get the first shot at his official visit. No Penn State, no Maryland, which was a little surprising. But again, he had a lot to say about the Dogs, and you could read more over on Dawg Post. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you over on the website.